Good evening. It's Shamila Ramjawan coming to you from the Red Corner Chat. And this evening I get to chat to the gorgeous, stunning Kerusha Kisten, also known as Keru. Keru is a businesswoman, CEO of Orkid Consulting, award-winning producer, a writer, life coach, wife, mum, actress, Miss Globe 2010, and so much more. Good evening, Keru.
Good evening, Shamila, and hello to everyone watching the Red Corner Chat. Thank you for having me.
It's only a pleasure. How are you doing this evening?
I'm doing well. I firstly want to say that I congratulate you on having your show up. I've been watching the posts. I've been watching the shows that I can, especially late at night after work, because it's been really busy. And it's always really great to see great women doing great things. So I commend you on that.
Thank you so much. Well, we're going to speak to a great woman tonight. Keru, such an interesting life and so busy. I need to know in a nutshell, who is Keru Kisten?
I really hate talking about myself because it's a weird one. In my line of work, I'm always in PR, especially you're always talking about other people. But basically, I'm a businesswoman. I'm a mom, and I'm a wife as well. Yeah, that's me in a nutshell. If you want to know what I like on the weekends, I'd like to quote a song. I like pina coladas and long walks on the beach. But yeah, that's about me in a nutshell.
Very interesting. I want to know more about being a mom. You're a super mom. I've seen pictures of your kids. I just want to know, just take me through just one day being with the kids.
Okay, that's a very cool question because no 2 days in our home is ever the same. I've always been passionate about my career and passionate about motherhood. And I always say that it's not the quantity of time, amount of time that you spend with your kids, but rather the quality of time that you give to them. And some days I end up spending a really great 1 hour. Some days I get home and they're already in bed, but I do kiss them on the forehead. I think motherhood has been my greatest achievement. You're a mom yourself. It's just the most empowering, yet so it's a fragile state of mind because you live with fear, you live with love. It's all encapsulating in one, and I would never trade that for the world. So I definitely love being in the boardroom, but what I love more than that is being able to sit and sing nursery rhymes with my kids and actually in the bed, especially on a Sunday morning.
So being married to Sans really a comedian, what's it like in your home? Just, is it always so full of humor and fun-filled? Just take me through that because that would be so interesting. I think a lot of people want to hear that.
So Sans Munsami, the comedian and movie director and producer, yes, it is. It's crazy. He will say that I can't let him get a word in because I have to have the last say. But isn't that all women in general? And even our arguments, because all couples have arguments, it ends up becoming a war of words where we now really need to see who has the battle of the wits. And I think the playing field's pretty equal. It's really fun. We have a lot of laughter, and my kids also have a great sense of humor and a big mouth. My son has a really big mouth. So, very quick on his tongue, very much like his dad or his mom. And we have a really great life, and I love it. I love that I'm able to come home every day. A lot of times we also work together, but I'm able to come home every day and also be able to have that to come home to, which is great. He's a super support structure. He's just, I admire him so much. I really do. I'll never say that out loud to him often, but I do. I really do. I think it gives me great strength.
My apologies, Sans Munsami, if you're going to watch this. I made a mistake. Apologies. So can you tell me about your kids? Do you think they're going to follow in your footsteps? Because I know you've got the comedy background, the stage background, very similar to Sans. Do you think they're going to follow? Can you see anything in them, the personality?
So when I had my son, he just loved being in front of the camera. I mean, he shot his first ad before he was won for Momentum, and just really great in front of the camera. And we obviously said, listen, we don't know what he would end up doing with his life. If he chooses the arts, he chooses the arts. But I then had my daughter, and my daughter is on another level also. She literally just knows how to turn it up. So now we're looking at our kids and we're like, you know, interesting to see where they find themselves. For me, if they end up in the entertainment industry, you know, great. Like, there's just so much of opportunity. It's just a beautiful industry to be involved in. But whatever they do choose, they'll have both Sans and my full support. So let's see how that pans out in the next 18 years.
Very supportive parents, and obviously learning from the best. And I'm sure they're going to make you very, very proud. So I can see where the beauty, I can see the beauty, I can see you winning the Miss India Glow pageant. Do you maybe want to take me through that, just your pageantry phase that you went through? Are we going to see more of Keru on the ramp? I just want to know more about that.
Okay, so that's a very interesting story. It's actually one of the most inspiring stories of my life. Because I had very supportive parents, but you know, coming from an Indian home, it was one of those things that you either become like an accountant, a lawyer, or a doctor, a teacher, but you're going to study something, but acting is not really a job. So, you know, I think I did pageantry because I could do over 15 different voice accents, and I was very young, and somebody had said to me, listen, go and enter, you know, this Miss India and whatever, because they have a talent segment, and I think, you know, somebody can notice you and you could really have a big break. So I started in pageantry when I was about 15, 16 years old, and I was the clumsy I think I also wanted to study, focus on my studies, and my mom was very adamant about me like competing matric, getting into varsity. I enrolled to study, and then obviously another pageant opportunity presented itself. But this time around, if you won an essay, you had to represent South Africa in Hollywood. And that's exactly where I wanted to be. I wanted to be in the land of dreams. And, you know, I ended up winning for essay. And then I obviously had to ask relief from the law faculty at Howard College. And I said, you know, please can I be excused for a week to represent essay? I remember the dean at that time sat there, very smug, and she said, well, you know what's your chances of winning? And I said 1 in 35. And she says, okay, so if you got 1 in 35 chance of winning, you want me to basically give you a break for a week so that you can go and do the arts. That's not even a real job. So I remember my mom sitting next to me, and I knew at that moment I had a full support. So I said to the dean, I said, you know, opportunity knocks once on your door. This faculty will be here 10 years from now. So if you don't want to give me the excuse, it's perfectly fine. But if there are 500 students enrolling for law, not every single one of them will be successful. However, I think I have a better chance of winning than being a successful lawyer right now. So I'm going to take that relief. So fail me if you will, but I'm taking the chance. I ended up going representing South Africa in the heart of Hollywood in Long Beach, California. One of my judges was Gary Marshall, who's now late. He was the director of Pretty Woman. Queen Amitra, Bollywood actress Aftab Shivdasani. And, you know, I still have the dress that I won with. And my parents, you know, they did everything they could for me. And I always come from this belief that it's not where you come from, it's not what you wear, it's how you wear it, it's how you finish in life. And I ended up winning the title, you know. And I remember we had to pin on my dress because the designer that gave it to me in SA didn't complete the dress and he didn't tell us. So we obviously only opened it up when we went to America. So I had about maybe 12 or 15 safety pins on me. And I still have it like that because I wanted to remember that moment as it was. I called out my name and I obviously won. It's like a weird moment for me. And colorism was a big thing, and I think it still is in SA and in the Indian community where, you know, the fairer you are, the more beautiful you are. And I was the darkest girl amongst all the entrants. And that's the day I also learned to love the color of my skin, because we also taught sometimes that if you're fair, then you're beautiful. So, you know, for me, I also took it at that moment that I am so comfortable in my skin. It taught me so much more mentally. When I arrived back to SA with the title, I had then seen an open day pamphlet with my picture on it, and everyone was promoting it, including the law faculty. So it was an interesting conversation after that. But then she did fail me, the dean, and I took it, and I took that year off, but I've never looked back ever since.
What a beautiful journey. So inspirational, Keru. Well done. Congratulations. Where to from here with pageantry? There's a lot of pageants now that, the married women pageants, Beauty with a Purpose. Are we going to see any of those in the future?
No, I think I'm done. I used to mentor after that. After I won, because I was very young when I did win. And my stance on always entering pageants is always to be true to yourself. And I think people say it, but they don't understand what that means. For me, it means that if you like something or if you believe in something, never be afraid to be vocal about it. Never be afraid to stand up for what you believe in. I was always a curvy girl. And I also stood out because I did have curves on me. But there were girls that were much skinnier than I and that could starve themselves. I was on the opposite end of that spectrum where I advocated for us being curvy girls because beauty is skin deep. It really does come from within. So I ended up training a lot of girls that went on to do great things in different pageants. And it's something that I do hope in the future to do more training of. But my schedule is so hectic. But I do get the calls every now and again to assist those that do need it, especially with the question and answer. And people have this idea that if someone asks you a question, there's a prepared answer for it. No, there's never. It's what your answer is, what you truly believe. So sometimes you got to take a few seconds, take a step back, and then answer your question, but answer it truthfully. So no more pageants for me, but I definitely cheer on all the women that do enter, especially married women, for different platforms. I think it takes so much of courage, and it's so beautiful to see them do these things. And I advocate for them to always do that because they're an inspiration to other women out there.
Such great words. So tell me, Keru, the life coaching, does that come from, does that encompass the pageant as well?
So life coaching is an interesting story with me because I'm busy jotting down my memoirs, and hopefully at the age of 30, I can then get a proper book out or the start of it. And it's an interesting story, my life story. I think I had a lot of great experiences, and I don't ever look at an experience, obviously when you're in it and it's not giving you the greatest outcome, you feel it's the worst thing that you're going through. And you don't realize that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. So I think with my life experience and what I've gone through in a very short space of time, but very quickly, I learned a few things along the way, and I practiced that daily. And then I was actually helping a lot of people on a normal basis. So I was like, hey, you know what? This is actually a thing. Life coaching is a thing. So I ended up obviously going and getting my accreditation done. And I now even a life coach some women who even have the greatest of degrees, greatest of qualifications, that sit in CEO positions. And sometimes all you need is a soundboard. You need somebody to be able to just tell you, listen, that inner voice is telling you X and Y. So don't doubt yourself. If you feel you got it, you got it. Wake up, live your life with a grateful heart. And what you feed your brain is what feeds your soul and evidently feeds the energy around you. So the law of attraction. So if you're constantly complaining and constantly looking at the negatives in life, you can never have positivity or the light into your life. So change that, perspective change, shift.
So tell me, Keru, an award-winning producer, so you had a hit with the movie Red Room. Do you want to take me through that?
Yes, I just want to mention one thing also, Shamila.
Yes.
Earlier we spoke about pageantry. You're a perfect example of a woman who literally at her age, at her time, you've arrived. So, for me, when I speak about women doing that, I congratulate women like you. I think that's very important.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I truly appreciate that.
So just back to that other question, Red Room was a beautiful story. Kani Mbao has become a really great friend of mine. She literally gave it her heart and soul. Very relevant, very current things that are happening to women, especially with the GBF, like gender-based violence. I think the film really targets that. It targets a level of financial abuse that women go through, mental, emotional, and physical, and sexual as well. So I think the film itself got nominated 5 times. Kani won Best Actress on the film at the South African International Film Awards, if I'm not mistaken. Sorry if I did say that wrong. And then we got nominated another 4 times at the Simon Sibela Awards, and we ended up taking home the Best Screenplay Award of the night. And it's a very proud moment for both Sans and I.
Congratulations, well done on that.
Thank you.
So take me through the next big movie that's going to hit the big screens. Who's My Daddy? Yeah, I say this. Yeah, take me through
Who's My Daddy is a comedy, and Who's My Daddy, right? So it was supposed to release this year on Father's Day weekend. Shamila, you're actually in that one as well. And so it's supposed to release on Father's Day weekend. We were supposed to have a 3-city premiere, and it's supposed to really go off great. And obviously, God had other plans for us. But for me, I always say roll with the punches. Nadia Jafta, it's her acting debut. She's a female lead in it. Alfred Ntombela. It's a cast list like you've never seen before. Dr. Victor, Sipho Hotsticks. You've got, geez, my mind's gone blank. Donne, the guy who sings You Touch Me. You've got Lesizwe, you've got Craig Reddy, you've got Kerusha Kisten, Jason Galai, Celestine Tuli, Tumi Morake, and it was co-directed by none other than David Kyle. The list goes on, guys, but I'm just going to stop there.
That is going to be a real blockbuster, and I'm so looking forward to it. And I'm just looking forward to seeing myself on the big screen.
Exactly, but you know what? I'm going to say this again. You're going to represent a type of market that when people watch, I don't want to give too much away, but you're going to represent a market that literally will feel where you come from as well. And I thought you pulled it off fantastically. You look so great on screen. So very excited to see how that turns out as well. So excited for the premiere day. I think for us also as producers, we decided to hold back on selling the film to the Netflix or the Mnet as such, because we do want to have a premiere. We do want to have that experience as well. So we are looking at December, but only time will tell because cinemas do open this Friday. So let's see how that goes.
Yes, I think people are just taking extra precautions now, and we want it to be a real hit, so we can wait a bit.
Exactly, right? It's going to be worth the wait, guys. Trust me.
Absolutely. So, Keru, just in terms of COVID-19, this has just come and hit us all globally. Did it have a positive or negative swing on business?
So there's 2 ways to look at this. And as I said earlier, for me, I'm all about the positive mindset, the realistic mindset. We're hitting the 4th industrial revolution. In my opinion, we already were in it. That's the way I look at it. If you're not a shapeshifter, a game changer, if you don't have the mindset, and entrepreneurs are resilient. However, sometimes you get very comfortable, and people think if you're comfortable, then it's a great thing. However, in a space like business, being comfortable is not necessarily a great thing. It means that you are stuck in your ways. And for me and for our business, it's been one of our busiest times. So I obviously adapted to COVID-19, and I didn't look at COVID-19 as a horrible thing. Yes, we lost a lot of people, and my heart does go out to everyone that did lose family and are going through hard times. However, it is our current situation with business and the economy and what's going on. And I think this is the perfect time for you to re-strategize and really do the things that you thought about doing, but were too scared to try. This is the time. Your time is now.
So do you call yourself a disruptor?
Without a doubt. Without a doubt. I think even from a production house side, from a consulting side, I've always been a disruptor, and it's so great for me during this time to be able to bring those disruptive ideas, disruptive thought processes, business ideas, things that before people looked at and said, no, but we didn't learn that in a textbook. And because right now, everything that you probably even learned in a textbook won't make sense. Because the way we thought we would do business is no longer the way we do business. Look at us now, having this interview via Zoom. Look at us.
Yes.
We're connecting together like this. It's the future.
It is definitely the future. We just got to get used to all this technology and how it works. And just, I think the more we use it, the better we're going to learn and upskill ourselves. You know, the saying, you
Exactly.
can't teach an old dog new tricks, but you actually can.
Exactly. It's the idea of actually, you know, Shamila, you're also an entrepreneur, you're a businesswoman. And it's reinventing the wheel. It's probably the point where people need to understand what that actually means. And reinventing the wheel just means reinventing you. So basically putting a different cover on what you're offering, the way you do business, the way you converse, all of that, look at it holistically. Sometimes you got to take 2 steps back to make 10 steps forward. Don't be afraid of that. Never be afraid of change. I love change. I've gone through so much of a life change on a personal capacity, and I always have an open mind to life and always look at the world as just this this big globe that just has so much of information. I just want to fill my head up. I suffer with my sleeping patterns because I tend to go to bed at 2, 3 in the morning because I'm overthinking. But again, I'm very excited for the future. I'm very excited for what's coming. I think we are headed down a path that's going to evidently benefit everyone. So yeah, so let's see what happens.
You're so full of positivity, and that's what I love, Keru. So
Thank
tell me
you.
about the show and tell cooking and baking on Instagram, because I love your posts. I've learned so much from you just from your Instagram posts. What is the plan around that? Are you sharing because you're caring, or do you have something else? Are you coming up with a cooking show? I'm just so keen to know.
Okay, so how's this for life, right? I'm going to share something. When we were on lockdown, I really appreciated level 5 lockdown because I got to spend time with my kids and like really just do the things that I wouldn't have been able to do normally. But then after a while, if you're a career person, you really need to get the itch to go back to work. And for me, cooking is very therapeutic. Like I just love being in the kitchen. I love making people happy, and food is a way that I make people happy. And also, if I'm baking a cake, I don't end up eating it. I don't know why. So if I bake it, I lose my appetite to almost eat it. It's so weird. So that from my protective side, from my weight side, that protected me. And during lockdown, I had my family here. I love my mom to death, and having her here was great. It's obviously a big family, and I got to obviously experiment a lot. And I just wanted to share those tips and tricks with everyone. I do want to release a cookbook and a kind of like a cheat cookbook. Like, you don't have to make pastry sometimes from scratch, or if you're going to make pastry, I got a shortcut for you. We're working women and dads because men also cook in the kitchen. And I want to be able to have a shortcut to making some really great gourmet meals.
That is so interesting. I'm definitely going to buy that cookbook because
Thank
it's
you. I will send you one when I definitely get down to making it. And I really want to be able to, in that cookbook, include the stories about my life, like the journeys. And I think food is such an important part of life. Um, and it really is a soul feeder. They say a way to a man's heart is through his tummy, but a way through anyone. Food, if you think about it, when you're sitting around a table, having dinner or lunch, you're speaking, you're talking, you're feeling. And food kind of does do that. It gives you warm, great vibes. So I'm interested. That's also on the plan and on the cards. So those are all the dreams that I have on my vision board that I'm trying to get to slowly but surely. So let's see how the year plans out.
talking about vision boards. Do you maybe want to tell me why you started a vision board?
Yes. So there was a time in my life that I didn't value living. I went through a very great depression in my life. And, I never used to speak about it until the recent years. And because there's so many people that are living through anxiety and depression. And when I went through it at a very early age in my life, I think I started from 16 and then obviously hit bad depression in my very early 20s. I was like 20, 21. And I really just didn't know why my life was important anymore. Because I just had one bad experience after the other. And when you keep going on that journey, you kind of lose focus as to who you are and what you really want out of life. So I started writing because writing is very therapeutic to me as well. And just writing, just random thoughts. And I started restructuring my life, started really rebuilding me and what I really want and what makes me happy, what really resonates with my soul, my mind. And that's how the process of the vision board started. Because, when you are rock bottom, and I always believe starting from the bottom again is not a bad thing, because it means that you have the opportunity to do things better, to really go back and reflect on your decision making before and make it a better choice going forward, right? What did I learn from this experience? Sometimes what people do when they fall, they really want to just get up and try again, but just take a step back before you do that. So as life started happening, I started putting things in my thought process, and I started actually just, interestingly enough, just putting it out there, started writing it. And then one of my friends had a vision board, and I said, "What is this?" And she's like, "No, it's a vision board." I said, "No, I think I have something similar, but it's in words. Like, it's like a little diary." And she says, "Oh, well, you know what? Why don't you try putting pictures to it or putting ideas to it? You can even do it on your computer and have a folder that's your vision board." And I started doing that. And I think it's a great thing. I think it's awesome. I think if you're a person that wakes up every single day and you are grateful for the, I wouldn't say little things, but the things that you have that we take for granted, like water, like sunlight, like family, like a blanket over you. I'm very grateful for those little things. And I always think that there's a time in my life where I didn't sometimes have some of those things, or my life was a different place, and I value that. So it's not a bad thing to reflect on where you came from, but don't stay there. Don't live in the past.
Yes, absolutely. I
It's a
agree.
reminder of how far you've come,
Yes, for sure. I mean, we all come from humble beginnings. We have to actually go back to our roots at some point and treasure, what we have now from where we've come. Because sometimes I speak to my
Exactly.
kids and I tell them the things that we were deprived of and what we didn't have, and they look at me with, like, in awe. Are you serious, Mom? Are you serious? Because they
Yeah.
just don't believe some of the things.
Exactly. Like my parents, my mom and dad were great human beings as well, like just really great ethos on life. They taught us to appreciate everything. My mom was an ex-educator and my dad was a businessman at that time. But I think what they always kept us was grounded. And I have them to thank for that. Never to ever think that you're above anybody. And also the life experiences that I went through, I think you end up realizing that if you live on a very high horse or you live through judgment on others, it's a weird thing. Life will humble you as such. I think that saying is very important. So in this day and age, I think it's so needed for us to put ourselves in other people's shoes before we judge somebody, before we cast a stone. I try also when I speak not to also, it's a woman thing. I think it's a people thing where we want to also end up saying something. If you're upset, or just pause a little bit, think about what you say, put
Yes.
out there. So yeah, that's basically it. I mean, I can go on about positivity and restructuring your life, the way you think, for hours, and this will be on this call for a very long time. So let's move on to the next question.
I can see the life coaching coming out there and the positivity. Just talking about experiences and life experiences, Keru, how do you stay sane amidst all of this? Your busy life, your hectic lifestyle with the family. What keeps you motivated and sane?
Two things. Pinterest, actually three things. Pinterest, a glass of wine in
Yeah.
a hot bath. And when we had lockdown with no alcohol, I literally would reserve the wine that I had. And then the third thing is music. I wake up every morning, and I don't always get it right, because there's some mornings where I just, like this morning, I woke up and I missed my gran because she passed away in December, and she was a very important figure in my life. And I had that feeling of loss inside of me. And instead of being upset the whole day about it, I ended up looking and thinking of all the great things and restructuring the way I thought about that, listening to great music the whole day, positive music that really fed my soul. And now when I'm done, I'm going to run a bubble bath and have that glass of wine.
There you go. You see, I love that. I love the energy. Kira, just these trying times, it's taken us in circles now. You back at work. I know you at the office right now. And I
Yeah.
know that you're not getting lots of visitors because a lot of people are not going out, especially meetings. Everyone's doing the online meetings, etc.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that? What do you miss the most about these, what you had prior to lockdown and COVID-19 compared to now?
So I actually made a list about things that I took for granted, because we do. We take for granted the fact that we were able to walk freely without having a mask on, and I was able to take my kids just to the shop whenever I felt like, take them to the mall whenever I felt like. If I wanted to go to the movies, I wanted to go out for dinner, we could just go at any time. Now I have to stop and think, oh, the place is too busy. I don't want to take that risk. The one thing I do miss the most is just being able to do the simple things in life, the simple things. And that's going out for dinner, spending time with the family. Like my kids, I just took them to a restaurant for the first time the other day. And if I tell you the amount of anxiety and like I just was watching them all the time, because the restaurant was very quiet with like two people and us in there, but still it was just a level of like, no, when we get home, we have to bark, we have to do this, we have to do that. And seeing that my kids actually have missed that more than anything. My son at 4 hasn't been back to school, and he's really struggling, with socialization, because he is a social being. And thank God he has his sister, but she's only 1.5, and she just bosses him a lot. So the fighting has already started in our home, where we just hear them shouting at each other. But it is a struggle for them, and I think our kids as well. They're so young, so they don't really understand. But yeah, look, everything will pass. This too shall pass. So
Yes, definitely.
we'll be able to have that drink. We'll be
Absolutely.
able to have that drink soon. Yeah.
Yes, for sure. Well, Daksha and I were just chatting today, and we're also missing just going out, relaxing, having that coffee or that ice cream somewhere, just chilling.
Exactly.
We haven't done that in months, and I think a lot of people haven't done that. So we decided that this Sunday or this weekend, we're going to do something. We're just going to go out and relax somewhere, Just as long as you just take the extra precautions and mask up, sanitize, I think that's important.
Your life really can't stop. However, it doesn't mean now that you need to be irresponsible. You owe it to everyone else. And I think that's the one thing that COVID-19 has taught me, is that you can only ensure that you are doing what you need to do to ensure that the situation doesn't get out of hand. Stop worrying about everyone else. Focus on you. Are you washing? Are you sanitizing? Are you wearing your mask correctly? Because that's the only person you're in control of. And I think if everybody just took care of them, and this process would be a lot easier. But I think people are getting the hang of it as well now. People also need entertainment. They need to be social beings. Like I just miss with Sans, like my husband, we used to go out dancing. I miss going out dancing.
I miss showing off my beautiful face. Now I've got to. I miss showing off my beautiful face because now I've got to go everywhere with a mask on.
Exactly. You see, Sam said to me the other day, he says, we're going to the shops. Why do you need to put makeup on here? Because this is going to be blocked. I said, really? So now I must only put makeup on here. So he laughs at me because I said, he says, the mask is going to take it off anyway. So we laugh because I said, you know what, it doesn't matter because I dress up every day as if I am going to meet somebody great. Like I'm going to meet Beyonce, I'm going to meet Oprah Winfrey. Because also lockdown got a lot of people in the mindset of like negativity because they weren't dressing up, they were in tracks, and I think really down, and feeling like they can't control the situation. So hopefully that changes as well.
Yes, I'm actually loving the chats because then I get to dress up, put on makeup, and just be myself. So
exactly.
It actually makes me feel so good.
Exactly. What made you start a Red Corner Chat?
So this is actually my corner where I gain a lot of inspiration from. I sit and read here, and the one day I just sat here and I thought, let me start something. Let me start a chat because I'm missing the people interaction, and I love people. And the only way I'm going to get that is if I get them in my room chatting to me, and then everything just fell into place.
Oh, that's amazing. That's amazing. I love it.
And also just to inspire and motivate other people. You know, I want to get as many people on the chat as possible, no matter where you are, what you're doing, because everyone has a story. And if you have something to share, you're going to touch lives, you're going to impact others. And that's what it's all about, is to get people on here, just casual chat.
Yeah.
Some people haven't even chatted on a platform before, or on a stage before, or on FaceTime before. And this is an opportunity. You know, we're all human beings. We're not experts. We're not 100% the presenter type people. You come on here, you chat, you make mistakes. It's okay. It's okay to be you.
Yeah.
So
It
so
is
that's
okay.
basically what it is. So just on a lighter note, this beautiful hair, I want to know about it. And there's a lot of women on here that's going to watch this and say, I can take some hints from Keru. So tell me about that hair. How do you manage it? It's always shiny, silky, soft, healthy. Just tell us some of your secrets.
Okay, so it's such a weird one, this one, because my mom's hair is like, this, like where somebody looks like they have hair extensions in. Like she's got this thick, beautiful black hair, right? And it's so thick. And I remember growing up and thinking, oh my God, like I just want hair like my mom, but I didn't. I ended up having a lot thinner hair, right? Sorry, guys. So I had a lot thinner hair. And then I got pregnant with my son, and obviously something happened and the hair became a lot thicker. And then I had always had long hair. I think, Shamila, when you met me last year as well, I had very long hair.
Yes.
I think my hair was long, and then I chopped it during lockdown. Sorry, guys. I need some water, and I don't have any water yet. And then I chopped it during lockdown, and then I actually had a color for the first time. I've never had color in my hair. I colored my hair for the first time in February. I just wanted to change. Like I just wanted something different in Jan, sorry. I just wanted something different. So my hair was longer, and obviously my hair started drying. But an old trick that we used to always do, thank you. Sam's got me a bottle of water.
Oh, what a lovely husband.
Thank you, he is, right? He's a sweetheart. So my mom would always make us oil our hair. But then we used to put amla oil, which you can get at like any Indian spice shop, coconut oil and olive oil. And if you have almond, that will also work. And then we used to leave it in and then sleep with it, right? Because if you dry your hair, it's got color, whatever, it dries out. So, sorry guys. So then it dries out. So I used to actually oil my hair a lot. Then I also try to not put a lot of heat on it. So if you can leave it to dry naturally, great. And then only when you need to go out or be at a function or it's necessary, then flat iron. But even if you are going to flat iron every day, use proper heat protection. Use heat protection properly. I think that's the key. YouTube has many videos to show you how to use heat protection. Please download those, because remember something, the hair, once it breaks, it starts splitting all the way up. So you don't want that. So also remember, if you're going to also put color in your hair, you need to then use stuff to treat the hair. So mask also. So I do mask my hair once a week. I will keep the color in my hair, because I only had black hair before this. I do love it. Like I look at your color now, I'm just like, I understand why women love color, because it really does give you that edge. And then I chopped my hair off in lockdown. I'm level 4. I chopped it all off. And I'm definitely keeping this hairstyle. I just love it. It's chic. And I do use Moroccan oil after I've ironed my hair or blow dried it. I try to vibe it up. And what I do is my hair gets oily every second day, right? So when I wash it on the first day, I'll obviously either iron it or blow wave it. And then the second day, I'll actually have it in some curls. And on the third day, I also do a sleek back. So I try to also not only have the same hairstyle.
Yes,
so therefore, I'm not only using heat. You know?
I love it.
So that's basically my tips and tricks, guys. Just try and oil your hair at least once, twice a month. It really does help. And then use some Moroccan oil on your hair to keep it shiny, and mask your hair as well with good treatment.
Well, that's lovely. I also use Moroccan oil. In fact, when I was in Morocco, I bought this lovely oil. So after I set my hair, I just sort of dab it on. So it gives it that shine as well, and it makes it look so nice. And it feels good as well.
Exactly. So,
but the oils, I'm going to do the amla, coconut, olive, almond. I'm going to try that.
4.
Yes. Yes. I'm going to try that. So
And
you mix it
literally
all
what you do.
together and then you put it on.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what I do. Another thing that I do, and I don't do it often enough anymore, but when I was much younger and I didn't have kids, it was a lot easier, is when I do put the oil, and my mom taught me this, you literally put a hot towel with boiling water, pick it up, and then just put it over the hair. I have to actually show you how to do it. It's very difficult. It's not on your head because you'll burn, but just on the hair itself so that the steam will just do something. It just literally is very good. Another thing that's really good for the hair, and do not do a funny face when I tell you or share it, is an egg mask. If you want to find out how to do an egg mask, just research that also on the net. It does smell weird, but very good for the hair. Extremely good for the hair.
But doesn't it get sort of hard on your hair?
Yeah, so remember, you're going to put the egg mask onto your hair, but what I do is I end up mixing it with my mask or my conditioner for damaged hair or whatever, and then I leave it in the hair. So I'll put it on, and then I'll go and make my food or do something, leave it on for a little bit, like 15, 20 minutes, whatever. Then you wash it out.
Okay, well, I'm going to try all of that because I want hair like Keru.
Thank you so much.
It's Women's Month. Your power message to the women out there.
I think the most important message, if I have to tell anybody, whether it's women or men, is stay true to yourself. Never be afraid of making decisions for you. I always say, dress up, show up, but show up for you. Every single time we want to do things to please other people, and we end up giving away a lot of ourselves. But if anything that you can do in this day and age is be present for you. If I'm in this conversation, I'm here with you right now. I can't give this time to anyone else. So I value that. Value your time. Spend it wisely. Choose people wisely. And give time to those things in your life that you really feel adds value to you.
Love it. Keru Kisten, thank you so much for taking the time and coming to chat to me on the Red Corner Chat. I wish you everything of the best. Stay awesome.
Thank you so much for having me, and thank you to all the beautiful viewers on the Red Corner Chat. And Shamila, keep doing what you're doing. It's an honor and a pleasure. I love you lots. Thanks. Goodbye.
Love you too. Bye.